Hey guys! Hey, hey! Hi! Hello Sam, hello Bryant! How are you all doing? I'm glad that you're all here. So, last night was really fun. I had so much fun playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. I am going to be playing today a visual novel game. It's called Hakuouki, Demon of the Fleeting Blossom. And it's a little bit of an experience. I am doing good. How are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, actually for the second stream today, I was gonna do a husbando tier list. But because I'm gonna be doing that with Cup on Wednesday over on her channel at 9 p.m. EST/EDT, I'm not gonna do the husbando tier list tonight because of that. So I have on the community tab a selection of what you guys want me to do. So you guys can go on to the community tab in my YouTube and vote to see what I could do for the second stream at 7:30, which could be let's see. It could be just chatting, play some other game, do a hand cam, or Pokemon Smasher Pass. So far, a lot of you have already voted for just chatting or play some other game. Just chatting sounds like good, just so I can talk about my day a little bit more, or your all's, or wonder how your all's day is. But if I tried to do a hand cam, it would have to be a lot of a setup, and I don't have time to do a setup. Yeah, but a lot of people are not voting for the Smasher Pass for it. Which, honestly, I can understand. I can understand that. But, yeah. Because if I tried to do a hand cam, I would have to set up everything. And that would mean that I had to tell Faye Papa I can't go out to dinner tonight with him. Because I have to set everything up for hand cam, and then he'll just be like, so I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? I'm trying to make content. Yeah, we have to suffer in the name of content. But anyway, I need to stop chatting. And hello, Gamishu, sorry. I need to stop talking so we can get to the game. I'm so sorry. I'm just a yammer box. I'm just a little talky. I like talking too much. Well, no. I mean, I could go out and eat it whenever I want. I'm an adult. Yeah, I eat out with my dad all the time. I can go out and eat with my dad whenever I feel like it. It's not like not going out's gonna hurt or anything. It saves money anyway. Plus, you don't have to tip. I mean, always tip your waiters and waitresses, but sometimes if you're trying to save money, just order out and eat at home. Because tipping, while it is good and it helps the other people, sometimes you just want to save your own money. But, there we go. Turn that on. So, let me just switch over to the game screen. Back. There we go. Good luck with what? That's ominous. Good luck with what? No, I don't want to update my settings. There we go. I don't want to update my settings. Ninja fairy moves at the speed of light. Yeah, this game is only for PS3. That's the one thing I should have told you. This game is for PS3. I did tell you I have a PS3. And yes, this is an ultimate game, which means it is a romance novel visual novel game. Hey, Grief, 1914. Let me turn the... Well, you're in luck, Sam, because the PS2 is gonna probably happen next week. Let me mute this, cause, you know. Well, it is called Demon of the Fleeting Blossom. I'm sorry I can't play the song, but copy, you know. I love the art style. It's my husband. I highly recommend watching the anime. It's really good. It's by Shintai Filmworks. So actually, copyright claim is a lot different from copyright strike. Copyright claim does not mean that your channel is at risk of getting taken down. Copyright claim means that the content that has the copyrighted music will just get ad revenue put on it so that the people who own it get a portion of the money. While copyright strike means your channel does get taken down if you get 3. But there are ways to remedy that by just muting the audio track that is the cause of the dispute. So copyright claim is not as bad as copyright strike. So we're gonna hit... Wait. I remember I played the game before. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to remember where I was. Yeah. So, it's completely okay. Yes. No. Chat needs to see the prologue. This is a work of fiction, but some elements drawn inspiration from certain historical figures and even events. We're gonna go back in time, chat. To the time of the Edo period of Japan, so get ready. Get your, push up your glasses, get your books ready, and enjoy. Prologue. January 1864. So this is Kyoto. It was awfully impressive, there was no denying it. Even the simple hellos between people passing in the street seemed warm and friendly. They nodded and smiled to one another, almost as if they were family, not strangers about on errands. Still, there was something else as well. Something that made the city feel strangely cold, almost as though there was a great invisible wall shutting out anyone who wandered in from the country. It wasn't particularly comfortable, I had to admit. No, this is all in my head. I had walked quite some distance to reach Kyoto, and it occurred to me that my mind and body were both very tired. Even so, tiredness was no reason for me to stand out. Feeling sorry for myself. I couldn't afford to, after all. Excuse me? With new, albeit forced resolve, I tried to stop a passerby. I'm sorry, but I seem to be a bit lost. Could you... What am I supposed to do now? I was lost again, but in a different sort of way. I sighed and found myself looking up at the darkening sky. The sun was beginning to set. The people I'd spoken to hadn't been unkind, and they'd given me the directions I'd needed, but... Couldn't he have chosen a better time to leave the city? Apart from my father, there was only one other person in the city who I could rely on, Dr. Masumoto. Dr. Masumoto was a doctor in service to the shogunate. I had never met him myself, but my father had put a great deal of trust in the man. He had told me that if I should run into any trouble during his absence, I was to contact Dr. Matsumoto. Unfortunately, Dr. Matsumoto was apparently out of town on business and would not return for some time. Was I too hasty? Perhaps I should have waited. True, it is rather rude to visit unannounced, which was why I had to send a letter ahead of me. Of course, if he'd been gone for very long, then I had almost certainly not read my letter. Perhaps I thought I should have waited for a reply before traveling alone to a city I'd never seen. But, no. I knew I had not have waited any longer. Kendra. Is something wrong, Father? He paused for a moment and looked at me. Thank you for the heart! It seems I must go to... Oh, wait. I forgot that there's Japanese reading in this game. I'm stupid. I forgot. It's been so long since I played this. Work again? He had been leaving the house often then, sometimes for days at a time. How long will he be gone? And the mouths move! I forgot, and the mouths move in this game. Unlike any other game I've played. Oh. There was no hiding my disappointment. Nonetheless, I wasn't a child anymore, and I couldn't beg him not to go, or some other foolishness. Yes, I'd be lonely, but I was much more worried for him. Please, Father, be careful. Wait, who is spamming? Who's spamming the what? Who's spamming? Show yourselves. Who's spamming? Show thyself. Or I will give you a lot of hugs. I will give you hugs and head pats. They say that the city of Kyoto is dangerous. He only smiled and nodded. God dang it! I keep forgetting. They speak. Okay, you promise? Also, I'm sorry, my throat is kinda... My sinuses are changing from the weather because of... I live in the mountains, so the acclimation of the weather is causing my throat to have to go through some crap, so... It sucks! Like, literally, it friggin' sucks. So I'm getting a lot of phlegm buildup. And ugh. I can still talk and it's not making my throat sore. Hey Crooked Gamer! I'm playing a visual novel game. Oh, that's freaking right, I forgot! Chat, I am a dingus. Flim, Azakano. Flim. Also, hello, Azakano. You here to gaslight me again? I never... Oh, it's okay. I welcome the gaslighting. I welcome the bullying. It's all between good friends. Father kept his promise. A new letter arrived every day, and I scarcely had the time to respond before another would arrive. He told me that he worried about me, home all by himself. Am confirmed. You know what? I don't deny it. I don't deny that I am one, okay? So, meh. This is where I wish my tongue for my model did go out and go. Not you, Sam. Nazakano. Me gaslight, I would never. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I don't mind if my friends do it. Chat, never gaslight me. Or you don't get any more cookies. Cause in my chat, I give you guys cookies. Cause here, have... Joke. Hashtag joke. Here, have a cookie. Yeah, you'll still get cookies if you don't gaslight me. Hi, Tootsie! Wait, Tootsie! I just remembered, you're a PNG tuber. Bam. What's that? Let's go! I give my friends who are VTubers the mod stat, Tootsie. You're a VTuber now. You get the wrench. I throw my wrench at you, accept my love. Then the letter stopped. A whole month passed with no word from my father, and I began to worry. I hold the You have the power! Father. You're welcome, Tootsie! Goodbye. Also, Azakano, meet my friend Tootsie. Tootsie Tootcan. They say Kyoto is full of ronin. It is not a safe place. Usually a samurai is paid by their house, but ronin with no house to report to often rob people in order to make ends meet. They're nothing more than a violent criminal who hide behind the image of the samurai. Try not to sing too hard. Bah! Bah! Yes, husbando will come soon. Such is the state of the city of Kyoto. The city of Ronin. A small wonder then that I worried for my father's safety. My mind would concoct horrible possibilities, and I inevitably found myself depressed and tense. First, I suppose I need to find a place to stay. Lost in thought, I hadn't noticed that night had already fallen. If I wasn't honest with myself, I hadn't the first idea how long it might take to find— Listen! Listen here, Azakano! Listen here, Azakano! I am still a kindred. I always will be kindred. You know that. You know that. Why are you— Chat, why you do this? Why you bully me? Why you make fun of me? Why you do this? I had taken some money with me, but it wasn't much enough to last a month. I hoped if I used it wisely, if I could find father in that time, so much the better. If not, hopefully Dr. Matsumoto would return before my funds ran out. Should I be unable to find either of them, then it seemed I would be forced to return home. Well, at any rate, I should try and be as frugal as possible. And so I lengthened my stride and set off toward the street. Fortunately for me, men's clothing was much more conducive to such pace than my usual dress would have been. We'll see about that. Why? It's not like he's gonna show up in my chat and be like, hey. It's not like he's ever gonna show up and be like, how dare you cheat on me? The man barely knows I exist. Heh. Why you all smiling? Why you all like, heh heh, heh 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 heh? Why you all teasing me like that? And this is close to Spoopy month, by the way. By the way, I need to, oh, frick, I forgot. I need to actually upload. Yeehaw! But, Spooky month! Avocado! Oh my god. Oh my god, what is up with my chat whenever he's here? Oh my god. I decided early on that... No, you... Oh my god. No! 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 No, I'm not. Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Get hearing aids, please. Get yourself some hearing aids. I decided early on that Kyoto was far too dangerous for a girl from the country to explore alone, and it would be wise for me to dress like a man, or at least a boy. Pump, it is the spooky month dance. The dance intensifies. Yeah, spooky month. Meaning jack-o'-lanterns, ghosts, zombies. By the way, Azukano, we still need to plan for Left 4 Dead 2. Perhaps that success had gone in my head, and let me think. A girl dressed as a boy could explore Kyoto as she pleased. But Kyoto is not a safe place. I should have remembered that. Instead, I had somehow convinced myself that whatever dangers the city hid didn't apply to me. Hey, kid. Oh, I forgot. I was about to discover otherwise. Eh? I spun around in the street in front of me. There were 3 men. Nani! Can I help you? I did my best to keep my voice calm as I reached in what I felt was a nonchalant way for my kodachi. My father had made me take lessons in self-defense. I'd kept with them and actually done rather well. My skill was enough to defend against most attacks. Then again, perhaps it was my confidence in my skill that had put me in this situation in the first place. I'd messed up and let my guard down. My fault. There was a chance I could take them on and win, but there were 3 of them and only 1 of me. Only then did I realize they were far more interested in my sword than they were in me. It's funny the developers gave these Ronin a names, but no character model. But the sword wasn't just some blade I picked up. It had been passed through my family for generations. There was no way I was going to give it to some Ronin. Unfortunately, I had a feeling they wouldn't understand. You were probably right. In such a situation, the best decision was undoubtedly to retreat! And so I turned and ran as fast as my legs could carry me.
Huh? Oi, machigare koso!
Gosh, they sure don't give up easy, do they? I had felt like I'd been running for quite a while, but I could still hear the Ronin behind me, cursing loudly. I ducked into an alley and flattened myself against a wall. After deciding they were too close, I crept further into the alley. Someone had left a couple sheets of wood leaning against one of the houses. It was a perfect spot to hide. With luck, I thought as I knelt down to scuffle under them. This will get me out of this mess. Huh? Something was wrong. I'd expected to hear the Ronin yelling to each other, looking for me, but seconds turned into minutes, and I heard nothing. I was about to sneak out and have a look when... They began to scream. What? My plan to investigate was immediately halted. Remaining silent and hidden was clearly more important. Still. It was then that true fear began to set in. There was something out there, something very, very dangerous, something quite possibly lethal. The possibilities were, well, my imagination conjured up, no shortage of gruesome theories. Even so, I could feel that itch of curiosity. I wanted to know what was out there. Slowly, carefully, I edged up to the corner and looked out. Cold moonlight glared back at me from the bare blade of a drawn sword. My eyes followed the blade up to the arm that held it, clad in a coat of light blue. Had this person saved me? But no sooner had it appeared, that hope was dashed. I could hear the Ronin beg for his life. As he stumbled back, the person in the blue coat said nothing, just stepped forward, his sword raised. A high, screeching laugh cut through the man's scream. The blade fell through the air, more like a butcher's cleaver than a sword. No technique, no skill, just death. The screen turned suddenly wet, caught and disappeared like air leaving a half-empty bellows. My eyes went wide. I had just watched a murder. Whatever strength adrenaline had given me was suddenly gone. My legs gave way and I crumpled to the ground. My eyes had gone so wide I thought they might have never closed. The Ronin had died with the first blow, but as I watched, the blades kept falling, carving deep lines into the corpse. The soft slip of a blade through flesh, the crack as it struck bone, the silent creep of blood across ground. I felt nothing from them but madness. Their raw desire was wrong. Animal violence. Whatever they were, it wasn't human. Hey, why not? It's a visual novel today. Sorry, it's not like a bam 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 action kind of game. They were broken. I could feel my throat closing up. I couldn't breathe. A warm, dark smell brushed against my face. It took me a moment to recognize the coppery tang of blood. An icy bolt of fear ran down my spine, crawling its way out into my limbs and freezing me in place. I was terrified. What was I going to do? What could I do? You have to run, Kendra! I forced my jaw open and drew a raging breath. This was the only chance I'd get. I had to... But my body, still numb with fear, was less than responsive. I lurched sideways into the wood stack against the building. With a rough clatter, it collapsed. The creatures, it turned, their blue coats drenched in blood. Hideous grins split their inhuman faces. They shook with animal excitement at finding fresh prey to slaughter. You'll find out who they are soon. I had to run. I couldn't die yet, but my legs refused to move. That hideous cackling laughter began again. I was going to die. My body was frozen with terror. I couldn't even scream. This was it. This was the end. I watched them raise their swords, the moonlight glinting off the metal. Then there was a flash of light and the soft splash of blood. I could feel it warm and sticky. Bile began to rise in my throat, but before disgust took hold, I heard a voice. The words suggested disappointment, but the voice sounded happy?
僕一人で始末しちゃうつもりだったのに、斉藤君、こんな時に限って仕事が早いよね。
As he spoke, the strange man smiled, almost as if he were enjoying himself.
俺は務めを果たすべく動いたまでだ。あんたと違って俺に戦闘狂の気はない。
Serious.
うわ、ひどい言い草だな。
He laughed.
否定はしないのか。
The man called Saito sighed with the air of a long-suffering companion and looked over at me.
でもさ、あいつらがこの子を殺しちゃうまで
Oh
黙って
god,
見て
they're
れば
hot!
僕たちの手間も省けたのかな。
They're hot! Chat! His tone was light, but his words confirmed my fears. I had left the frying pan, yes, but now I was in the fire.
さあな、少なくともその判断は俺たちが下すべきものではない。
Huh? Then, there was someone in charge of these two? Their conversation seemed to suggest they were part of an organization of some sort. As I thought about it, I remembered hearing stories of a group of men with blue coats. Ah! My thoughts were interrupted by a dark shape sliding into view. Wait for it. Who is this purple-eyed man who does stand before us? Okay. Have fun with it, why not? Bye! I swallowed hard. The moonlight shone off his smooth, dark hair, for reasons I couldn't fathom. In that moment, the light on his hair made me think of fluttery flower petals, almost as if the cherry trees were blooming out of season.
運のないやつだ。
His voice was cold and quiet, like a blade of ice. Blue-white moonlight lit his slender face and shone from the blade he held pointed at my chest. But it wasn't the sword that made my breath catch in my throat. It was his eyes. They were fierce and hard, but somewhere beneath them I could catch a glimpse of something else. There could be no doubt that he was prepared to kill me, and yet he looked troubled. Not kindness, but perhaps mercy?
いいか、逃げるなよ。背を向ければ切る。
Yeah, I won't run. I nodded. There was no doubt he meant every word he said. He stared at me for a moment, then grimaced. With a sigh, put his sword away. What? I was too surprised to stop myself from speaking, and it quickly became apparent that I wasn't the only one.
あれ？いいんですか、土方さん。この子、さっきの見ちゃったんですよ。
As he spoke to the man he'd called Hajikata-san, His eyes narrowed. The man called Hachikata frowned back at him.
いちいち余計なこと喋るんじゃねえよ。
Uh-huh.
下手な話を聞かせちまうと始末せざるを得なくなるだろうが。
I wasn't quite sure what they meant, but it was clear enough that what I'd seen was something they wanted to keep hidden. Still, the more they said, the more I understood, despite the fact that none of us wanted such a thing.
この子を生かしておいても厄介なことにしかならないと思いますけどね。
The way he looked at me made me feel as if he read my mind. Perhaps it would be best if I didn't think too hard about things I wasn't supposed to think about.
とにかく殺せばいいってもんじゃねえだろう。こいつの処分は帰ってから決める。
I'm turning up the sound a bit more.
俺は副長の判断に賛成です。長くとどまれば他の
You'll
人
see the
間に見つ
rest
か
of the
るかもし
guys
れな
I
い。
can choose from later. There's so many different paths that it's really hard to keep up with. And I'm sorry that this is a visual novel game. The man they called Saito spoke with quiet affirmation, with quiet confidence. He glanced around, possibly looking for other witnesses. Then he looked back down at the creature he killed, almost as though he'd forgotten the whole ordeal.
こうも血に狂うとは実務に使える代物ではありませんね。
頭の痛い話だ。まさかここまでひどいとはな。
He peered down at the corpse, his face an emotionless mask. When he looked back up at his companions, however, his eyes narrowed.
つかお前ら、土方とか副長とか呼んでんじゃねえよ。伏せろ。
へえ、伏せるも何も回復着てる時点でバレバレだと思いますけど。
He was right. Even I had heard stories about a gang of cruel men in blue coats who cut people down in the streets. But no, don't think, ignore them. I did my best to be stern with myself, but it came out sounding more pleading than commanding. My mind swirled with thoughts and worries. I was being drawn into their world. A world where there is nothing strange in carrying on a normal conversation in the dead of night, with corpses for company.
死体の処理はいかように、肉体的な異常は特に現れていないようです。
What shall you do with our bodies? Burn them. Hachikata thought for a moment before he spoke.
羽織だけ脱がせとけ。あとは山崎くんが何とかしてくれんだろう。
教
As
員
No, right, sorry.
大使が切り殺されてるなんて僕たちにとっても一大事ですしね。
He gave a derisive bark of laughter.
あとは俺らが黙ってりゃ世間も勝手に納得してくれるだろうよ。
He looked directly at me when he spoke, and I got the distinct feeling that his words weren't for his companions. It was common for people to be murdered in Kyoto. It was a dangerous city after all. I knew that, of course. But to see it happen, that was something else entirely. If death was such an easy thing in Kyoto, I thought, then the city itself must surely be mad.
ねえ、ところでさ、助けてあげたのにお礼の一つもないの？
Huh? I didn't realize immediately that he was speaking to me. When he did, my eyes went wide. What do you mean, save me? Well, he did have a point. Despite their threats, they did save my life. I stood up as steadily as I could manage, brushed some of the dirt off my clothes, and bowed. Thank you very much. I apologize for not thanking you earlier. There was so much going on, I was a little confused. I glanced up at them attentively. The man called Saito was showing some confusion of his own. His eyes were wide, and he had an expression I couldn't place. Hachikata looked as though he'd taken a bite of something sour. I know it seems weird to say that, but he told me I should say thanks, so I look up. Saito and Hachikata were both looking poignantly at anything but me, and the third man was shaking with laughter. So he gaslit.
Ah. ごめんごめん。そうだよね。僕が言ったんだもんね。
Why does he kind of remind me of a monkey? He broke out in laughter again, so much that he was forced to wipe a few tears from his eyes as he straightened up.
どういたしまして。僕は沖田総司と言います。礼儀正しい子は嫌いじゃないよ。
Hey, you calling kid, buddy? Thank you for helping me. Not quite sure what else to do. I bowed again.
わざわざ自己紹介してんじゃねえよ。
副長、お気持ちはわかりますが、まず移動を。
Whatever mirth I might have inspired gone. The man called Saito spoke with quite urgency. Hachikata nodded. The man who called himself Okita grabbed hold of my wrist, gave me a smile, and began to lead me down the street. Hi, Neffy. I'm good. Playing a visual novel game today. His grip was a touch too tight to be friendly, his fingers like iron cables around my arm. There was no question about my situation. If I ran, I would die. Quickly, at least. But still. Even if I did, as I was told, my life was in the hands of these strange men. I set my jaw and stood up as straight as I could. My eyes met those of Saito as he looked up from the blood-stained coat.
己のために最悪を想定しておけ。刺していいようには転ばない。
His words were like a dagger in his stomach. What was going to happen to me? Was I going to die? As we walked through the cold Kyoto night, I felt horror. It began to crawl its way up my spine once again. The cause of my horror wasn't the gruesome end that almost certainly awaited me, but something else entirely. I'd spoken with these men, watched them speak to one another, not feet from a still warm corpse soaked in blood. That I had done such a thing terrified me in altogether a different way. Perhaps I thought, this is what it is like to go mad? Chapter 1. Yay! Prologue finished. January 1864. Wait, how do I save again? Oh, here we go. I am the stupid. Okay, chat. I'm gonna be honest, chat. So all of that previous was a prologue. Yeah, it was all a prologue. I'll probably go into, like, chapter 2 today. Because I know that, like, visual novels aren't everyone's cup of tea. Because, like, visual novels take so long to do, and not everyone likes the idea of a VTuber reading visual novel games or even playing them, unless they're, like, a mix between a visual novel game and an action-packed shooter. And I guess it all just depends on what is popular as a visual novel game right now. Was it morning? What had happened to me? Ah, yes. Right. All at once, the events of the previous night rushed back. If only this was my room, I thought. They had tied me up quite well. so all I could do was wriggle around in the bed, twisting the blankets around me. I wished pointlessly. I knew that I were back home, waking up on my warm futon. If only this were all a very strange nightmare. But it was not. I had met those men the night before, and they had taken me with them to the headquarters of the Shinsengumi. What will happen to me now? I sighed and laid down to wait my fate. It was at that moment that the door slid open and a kind-looking man stepped through.
ああ、目が覚めたかい?
He looks like a real samurai! With a soft smile, he introduced himself as Inoue.
すまんな、こんな扱いで。今縄を緩めるから少し待ってくれ。
His smile quirked as he removed my ropes, working quickly and skillfully. My wrists, however, were left bound. Oh, thank you. I bowed and he let out a short laugh.
ちょっと来てくれるかい? 今朝から幹部連中であんたについて話し合っているんだが、あんたが何を見たのか確かめておきたいってことになってね。
Okay. I nodded and did my best to stand up, my body still a bit unsteady after being tied up all night. The man who called himself Inoue was very polite and almost kind, but it was quite clear that I was to do as I was told. He must have been able to guess my thoughts because he smiled at me and winked.
心配しなくても大丈夫さ。なりは怖いが気のいい奴らだよ。
Oh. Ah! No. I freaking fast forward. No. Frick. I fast forwarded it. Okay, I'm going back. I hit the wrong button. Yes, please. Frick. I hit the wrong button. It's been a long time since I played the game. I wasn't sure what to think of that. Even at home, I heard rumors of the vicious Sensei-kumi. Oh, hey, Vongola. Sorry, it's not an action-packed game today. It's just a visual novel game called, Hakuouki, Demon of the Fleeting Blossom. It's a, visual novel romance game. I'm sorry, it's not like, Little Nightmares or anything. I'm gonna try to play horror games. I'm supposed to try to play horror games when October does hit, but I may start doing them a little early, mostly because I want to play some Resident Evil, which I have Resident Evil 8 Village. I need to actually download it onto my PS4, but I have to see what games I have to get rid of off my PS4 in order to make sure I have enough storage space for it. Hello, Goldfire! Sorry, it's a visual romance novel game. Today, they weren't pleasant rumors. It was hard to imagine that the people in charge of such a organization were nice. Hello, the Crimson Puppy! Welcome! Hello! Today is right now it's a romance novel game. But later tonight I may do a just chatting stream or a, play another game. Cause, I was supposed to do a husbando tier list. But, because I'm gonna be doing that with Cup over on her channel, I may just do a, just chatting, play another game. You all get to do the voting. If you go into my community tab, you guys get to vote to see what I do tonight. Yay. I'll make a thumbnail after the stream. It was hard to imagine that the people in charge of such an organization were nice. Yay! I do like doing just chatting streams, though. It's fun. It's fun to talk about. Inoue led me to a room and opened the door. I stepped inside and found myself surrounded by the leaders of the Shinsengun. Their eyes dug into me like so many knives. I froze just past the threshold and I swallowed.
Ohayo. 昨日はよく眠れた?
Back away, buddy. Hey, don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Oh, I remember him. Okita. Perhaps it was because I was surrounded by strange men, but it was somehow comforting to see a face I recognized. Even if it's a face of a guy who gaslit you. This stupid ass hat. And thank you, Brian, for the huggy wuggies. Thank you. Speaking of that, I kind of want to get Poppy playtime. But if it was the face of a rather frightening man who was almost certainly willing and able to kill me. Well, it wasn't particularly comfortable. I chose my words carefully.
そうなんだ.
My face twisted sideways into a grin.
さっき僕が声をかけた時には君全然起きてくれなかったけど?
Wait a fuck. You poked places? That, sir, is a violation of my person. I want a lawyer! Chat, who in my chat is a lawyer? This guy was touching me while I tried to sleep. Who in my chat is a lawyer? I want a lawyer. Wait, what? See, that's what I'm saying! Okita's grin widened. As my face turned red, Saito rolled his eyes.
からかわれているだけだ。掃除はお前の部屋になんか行っちゃいない。
You don't. What? No, he touched me inappropriately. That's harassment. But then again, Saito-san said he didn't go anywhere near my room. Okay. Are we doomed? No. Quiet, silent. I stared at Okita. With his grin still playing about his face, I glanced over at Saito.
もう少し君の反応を見たかったんだけどな。はじめくんもひどいよね。勝手にバラすなんてさ。
You, sir, are a jackass. I already get teased by Azakano. I already get teased by my friends. I get teased by the Kindred. I get teased by my Oshi. How many people are gonna tease me just to get a rise out of me? And I need it from a game guy. I get teased so much. I get picked on. No, Cat, you don't pick on me. You're my smart friend who helps me with my, like... You're like the smart friend from school who helps me with my math homework. And I like that. And Nori's like the big sister. She's like the big sister type of friend who looks out for you. I don't think Saito did anything wrong. You, on the other hand... Yeah, you did something wrong there, Okita-san.
おい、てめえら。無駄口ばっか叩いてんじゃねえよ。
Hajikata's voice broke. No further insubordination. Okita shrugged and was silent, but the smile stayed on in his eyes. Yes, chat, you are very smart.
土方さん、そいつが目撃者。
Yes, chat, you are very smart. Very, very smart. You're smart cookie. You're all smart cookie. Here, I want to get something for you. Here, cake. Whole cakes. Chat, get cake. Three more men! The man who spoke was, well, he looked more like a boy than a man. You're welcome! Yeah. Head pat, yay! I'd imagine the leaders of the Shinsengumi to be old, or at least middle-aged men, but they all looked quite young. In fact, they all looked rather like a group of young thugs.
ちっちゃいし細っこいな。まだガキじゃんこいつ。
Look who's talking, Shrimpy! That was Tudo. On our way from my bed, Inoue gave me a brief description of the people I was about to meet. Supposedly, Heisuke was the youngest captain in the Shinsengumi. Good timing too, my birthday is in 2 days from now. Happy early birthday, Brian! Sorry if I was loud.
お前がガキとか言うなよ、平助。
He chuckled as he spoke, but the way he looked at me suggested that there was little he missed despite his humor.
だな。世間様から見りゃ、お前もこいつも似たようなもんだろうよ。
The man across from him nodded with a brow drawn, as if he was quite serious about the subject. You have headphones on? Oh yeah, be warned that some of my games that make me rage, I will scream. If you guys watch the VOD from Cuphead, headphone warning. However, I remembered Inoue telling me that two of the men in particular were somewhat immature, to put it nicely. He had said that one with short hair was Nagakura, and the other with the long hair was Harada.
うるさいな。おじさん二人は黙ってなよ。
なんだよ。
ふざけんなよ、このお坊ちゃまが。俺らにそんな口聞いていいと思ってんのか？平助におじさん呼ばわりされるほど年食ってねえよ。シンパチはともかく、俺はな。
I routinely listen to aircraft and rocket engines with headphones, so I should be okay. Thank God I use speaker instead of headphone. Yay! I'm not hurting your eardrums. Yay! Yay! Kappa! Yay!
てめえ、裏切るのかさ、
はは、シンパッツさん図星されて怒るって大人げねえよな。
Their back and forth had the feel of a routine that long predated my arrival, but they couldn't quite hide the odd, inquisitive glance in my direction. I could sense something other than simple curiosity, though, a feeling of animosity or resentment, perhaps. Despite their cheerful levity, they had not forgiven my presence among them. Last time I watched a VTuber on speaker, it didn't end well. I won't ask what happened if it's too traumatic for you. Why not? I won't ask. I will respect it. I will respect it. Suddenly, I wanted very much to go home. Please don't. I won't. I won't. I wanted to leave that place and never return. My chest tightened and I looked down at the floor, hoping that I might just wake up at home in my bed.
口さがない方ばかりで申し訳ありません。あまり怖がらないでくださいね。
Oh. His voice was calm and warm, and I felt myself relax, even if only a little.
何言ってんだ。一番怖いのはあんただろ、三男さん。
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Hajikata kinda does remind me of my Oshi. There was the faintest trace of a smirk on Hajikata's lips. As he finished speaking, the rest of the men nodded, solemnly in agreement. Hold it! I'm gonna just take this picture of Hajikata and then just... As he finished speaking, the rest of the men nodded solemnly in agreement. I found it hard to believe this man could be as scary as they all seemed to think.
おや、心外ですね。皆さんはともかく鬼の副長まで何をおっしゃるんです？
Ooh, yeah. Those are loud, cat. Those are like super loud. And I already have to deal with like jets flying overhead of my house from time to time. So the man called Sanan smiled as he spoke and leaned back, his riposte delivered. Hajikata said nothing, but his own smile did not leave his face.
トシと三男君は相変わらず仲がいいな。
Hajikata and Sanan had sounded so cold when they'd spoken to one another. Not what I would have called friendly. Still, the man who had spoken had clearly sounded as though he thought they were friends.
ああ、自己紹介が遅れたな。俺が新選組局長、近藤勇だ。
The most important man in the Shenzhen Gumi then.
それからそこの都市が副長で、横にいる三男君は総長を務めて。
いや、近藤さん。なんでいろいろ教えてやってんだよ、あんたは。
Hold it. Stretchy.
まずいのか？
Stretch, break. Stretch. Sorry for the noises. I needed a stretchy stretch. Always stretch when you're streaming. Because I'm using a really... I'm not using a gamer chair. Always do stretch. Oh, why? Do you think it's a bad idea?
情報を与える必要がないんだったら黙ってる方が得策なんじゃないですかね。
I needed to stretch.
わざわざ教えてやる義理はないんじゃない？
Speak for yourself, you're a kid too. Harada glanced over at Kondo and let out a bark of laughter. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir, Harada. Where is your shirt? Where is thy shirt? Sir, where is your shirt? This is a frickin' Wendy's. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Kudo had looked rather disappointed when Hajikata spoke, but he perked up at Harada's words. I'd scarcely known him for 5 minutes, but already I could see that he was well liked by his men. He had that sort of charisma that simply drew you in. A man who was impossible to hate.
さて、本題に入ろう。まずは改めて昨晩の話を聞かせてくれるか。
Kudo glanced over to Saito, who gave a small nod and began to speak.
昨晩、今日の都を巡回中に不老の老師と遭遇。相手が刀を抜いたため切り合いとなりました。大使らは老師を無力化しましたが、その折彼らが失敗した様子を目撃されています。
Yeah, as he finished, Saito turned to look at me. I swallowed and forced my mouth open. I didn't see anything. Hajikata softened a little at my response, but Saito remained expressionless. And the smile on Okita's face didn't change.
なあ、お前本当に何も見てないのか？
Yes, I didn't see anything. I hope that if I said it enough times, they might start to believe me.
見てないんならいいんだけどさ。
あれ？掃除の話では、お前が大使でも助けてくれたって話だったが。
No, that's not true. I glanced over to Okita, but his smile still hadn't changed. Whatever he was thinking was a mystery to me. I was running away from the Ronin. And then some people with Shinzengumi uniforms showed up. Really, they sort of rescued me.
じゃ、大使どもが老子を切り殺している場面を
Oh
し
shit.
っかり見ちゃったってわけだな。
I couldn't exactly deny that. But I knew that if I just shut up then, they'd know for sure that I was lying.
つまり、最初から
Ah,
最後
shit.
一部始終を見てたってことか。
We're found out. This is the end. This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then. Yep, we're dead. We're boned. We're up creek without a paddle. I was completely at a loss.
お前、根が素直なんだろうな。それ自体は悪いことじゃないんだろうが。
The problem is, with an honest heart, you're showing all of your cards. Like in a game of poker, never reveal your hand too early. Because then, and never like show your cards. Because at times, playing cards, you gotta BS your way to victory. And in this case, we failed humongously. I wasn't sure what to make of Harada's words. My presence had not been a good thing for the Shinzengumi. Would their next words be the ones that condemn me to death for being in the wrong place at the wrong time? My voice shook, but I knew I had to try. I won't tell anyone, I promise!
偶然老子に絡まれていたという君が敵側の人間だとまでは言いませんが、君に言うつもりがなくとも相手の誘導尋問に乗せられる可能性はある。
I like Uno. It's fun. Uno is a fun game. Even if you do not. His voice was still warm, but his words were cold, and I began to feel my chances at life slip away.
話さないというのは簡単だが、こいつが新選組に義理立てする理由もない。
約束を破らない保証なんてないですし、やっぱり解放するのは難しいですよね。
I mean, I like Uno. It's a fun game. The one thing is, try not to make it too big of a deal, because honestly, it's just a game. It's just meant to have fun. They had a point, but...
ほら、殺しちゃいましょうよ。 口封じするならそれが一番じゃないですか。
But I looked desperately at Kudo, who gave Okuta a reapproving look.
掃除、物騒なことを言うな。お上の民をむやみに殺して何とする。
Yeah, what do you have to gain from, you know, offing me? Okuta's smile disappeared and he looked down at the floor.
そんな顔しないでくださいよ。今のはただの冗談ですから。
冗談に聞こえる冗談を言え。
Okuta made an attempt at a distortive snort and looked intently at a wall, his face slightly red. Also, if you're new to the channel,
しかしなんとかならんのかね。
please read the
まだ
rules
こんな
down
子供だ
below
ろ。
in my description. That way you understand my rules for my channel.
私も何とかしてあげたいとは思いますが、うっかり漏らされでもしたら一大事でしょ。
Also, I have to reload my overlays. Hold on.
私は副長のご意見を伺いたいのですが。
With the responsibility of his position invoked, Hachikata had no choice. He sighed and glanced around the room.
俺たちは昨晩、指導に背いた大使を粛清した。こいつは
それだけだとおっしゃりたいんですか？
実際このガキの認識なんざその程度のもんだとは思うんだが。
けどよ、こればっかりは大義のためにも内密にしなきゃなんねえことなんだろ。
Oh, please don't get rid of me, dudes. I swear to God, I didn't see nothing.
新選組の大使は血に狂ってるなんて噂が立ちゃ。
I was in an alleyway
俺らの大義にだって支障が出
hiding.
るぜ。
Shinpachi's words made sense, and they all knew it. Hachikata's face looked grim.
掃除の意見も一理あるとは思うけどな。ま、俺は土方さんや近藤さんの決定に従う。
俺は逃がしてやってもいいと思う。
Heisuke looked troubled.
こいつは別にあいつらが血に狂った理由を知っちまったわけでもないんだしさ。
Wait, what did he mean by that? To be honest, I hadn't really thought about it. Hachikata saw my eyes go wide, and I saw his narrow. They flicked to Heisuke-kun.
平助、余計な。
It's no sooner were the words out of Hachikata's mouth than Heisuke clapped both hands over his own.
はあ、これでますます君の無罪方面が
Oh,
難
I'm
しくなっ
gonna
ちゃった
die.
ね。
何したるもの、死ぬ覚悟くらいできてんだろ。
But I'm not.
お
I
前も
don't
諦
want
め
to
て腹く
die.
くっちまいな。
And I'm not a man. I'm a girl. A man. Oh! They thought I was a boy. With everything else that had happened, I'd completely forgotten how I was dressed.
確かに潔く死ぬのも男の道だな。俺も若い頃は切腹したし。佐野の場合、まだ生きてるけどな。
Their jokes were barbaric, but they both broke into a rancorous laughter at them. Saito did his best to ignore them.
土方さん、結論も出ないし、一旦こいつを部屋に戻して構いませんか？
As he spoke, Saito turned to look at me.
同席させた状態で誰かが機密を漏らせば、 処分も何も殺すほかなくなる。
No, please don't Hajime! He was right. If I remained with them, then I could easily hear something I wasn't supposed to. I didn't think he'd mention it for my sake, only as a possible concern for the Shinsengumi, but I was still glad he brought it up.
そうだな。頼めるか？
I don't want to be taken care of by him. What if he hurts me? Saito nodded.
私もその判断には賛成しますよ。ここに。
うわ、三男さん。わざわざこっち見て言うとかきついよ。
ま、仕方ねえよ。うかつなのは俺らの担当だろ。主に平助。
そんな責めるなよ。俺だって悪気はなかったんだからさ。
Haha, they gaslight Heisuke a lot. I could hear Heisuke's voice rise as everyone turned to look at him. He looked at them for a bit, then he turned to me and mumbled in a voice I could barely hear.
ごめんな。
I was still afraid that I was about to die, so I couldn't bring myself to tell him no harm had been done, but he looked as though he'd mentioned what he said, so I gave him an awkward nod. It was the most I could manage.
行くぞ。
Alright. Oh, yay. I can do the... Hold on. Where's the status section? Hold on. Bop. Bop bop. Save here. Yeesh. Okay, how do I... Which one is the save section? No. Where... No! No. I'm trying to look for the status section. Oh my gosh. No. The rumors I'd heard said the Shinsengumi were cruel, vicious men, but they seemed much more human than that. Then again, even as I sat there, they were deciding whether or not to kill me. I don't think they want to kill me, but it seems like they think they may not have a choice. If I didn't defend myself somehow, I'd most likely be killed. I don't know how I'm supposed to convince them though. However they might have felt about me, it was clear that their priority was the welfare of the Shinsengumi. Oh right! They all still thought I was a boy! Perhaps if I told them I was a girl, they might reconsider. Or perhaps they wouldn't, or perhaps they would just make my predicament worse somehow. I would tell them the truth. Perhaps if I did, they'd understand my predicament. Perhaps they think I'm from Kyoto as well. If I told them I'd only just arrived in Kyoto, they might lower their guard, or so I hoped. I didn't know anyone in Kyoto, and I'd only come to look for my father. I haven't even told them I'm a girl. The rest perhaps could wait, but I felt that it might be wise to tell them I was a girl. I took a deep breath and then shouted as loud as I could. Excuse me! Is anyone there? After a few moments, the door slid open, and several faces appeared around the edges.
大胆だな、お前さん。補修の身分で俺らを呼びつけるか。
Except I don't have the equipment for that. He looked a little impressed.
で、自分から声をかけてくるなんざ、そろそろ腹も決まったのか。
Well, he was right. I did call them over. I took a deep breath and spoke. I want you to hear me out.
おそらくお前の事情は汲めないだろう。それでよければ。
Saito's words were cold, like a blow to my chest. The courage I built up rapidly began to ebb.
お前の運のなさには同情する。
Oh wow, Harada-san, you're really just writing me off on the death market ticket, aren't you? He's really writing me on the death market. I don't like that.
ほら、男なら諦めが簡単だろ。
I'm not a man! I'm a girl! They all spoke as if they'd already co-signed me to death. Well, they're just trying to sign my death warrant. It was time to make my choice. As Saito turned to go, I round on Keisuke to glare at him furiously.
No. なんだよ。
Earlier said a man should know when to accept his fate. You don't think there's anything wrong with killing a man, but for hearing him out? His eyes narrowed as he stared at me, as though I'd suddenly become more interesting.
お前さ、口の利き方に気をつけろよ。そっちこそ男らしい態度取れば、俺らの事情を素直に受け入れればいいじゃん。
But I'm not a man.
もしかしてさ、
You're right.
女とか。
Yeah, I'm a girl. You want to see my equipment? Yeah, I'm right. I'm a girl. Do you want me to prove myself? Do I have to do things for you? Do I have to prove my femininity? Yes. Scan Nagakura's eyes went so wide, I was almost worried they might fall out of their sockets. Their mouths worked wordlessly, like a pair of fish trying to desperately to breathe air.
ま、確かにそんな感じだな。体の線が女性的で柔らかい。
Harada-san knew!
そんなもんわかるか。普通女は袴なんて履かねえだろうが。
Oh yeah, if you all don't know, traditionally in Japan, women were not supposed to wear pants unless they were priestesses at a temple or a shrine. Hakakura's distress didn't seem to be having much effect on Saito, who regarded him with a cold amusement. Perhaps he'd known the truth all along.
お前の言う通り、せめて事情くらいは聞いてやるべきだろうな。
There I was, surrounded once again by the leaders of the Shinzen-gun.
美人さんだとは思っていたんだが、まさか本当に女性だったとはな。
Yes, I was in fact a woman in disguise. Yes. Kudo was nodding his head solemnly over and over, as if he were agreeing with the very intelligent suggestion.
女だって聞いてから見ると女にしか見えなくなってくるんだよな。
Something about that seemed to impress Hesuke-kun.
しかし、女の子を一晩縄で縛っておくとは。
Why are you all? Oh my gosh, they don't think a girl can be tough. Unfortunately, they did not. Unfortunately, they had not seen Mulan. Unfortunately. I don't think they ever watched Mulan. He looked at me, his eyes concerned. Each of them took the news differently.
女だって言うが、別に証拠はないんだろ。
Oh my... Oh, he wants proof. Does he need a birth certificate? Does he need to see things? Does he need to see me dolled up in a fancy kimono wearing makeup? Does he need my driver's license, ID, social security number, my Target gift card, and my passport? Proof? Harada laughed. Nakakura grumbled to himself under his breath.
証拠も何も一目瞭然だろうが。なんなら脱がせてみるか。
What? Chat. No, do not do that. Please don't. Don't. No, 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 no. Please don't.
許さん許さんぞ注目の中女子に肌をさらさせるなど言語道断
Kuda shot up before I had even finished, his face bright red, but Harada's words hadn't had any malice behind them.
それが一番手っ取り早いと思った。
By saying that you were gonna do that to me? If I could slap you in the face, I would. Chat, if I could go to his face, I would. You don't do that to a woman. That is how you get arrested, sir. He shrugged and settled back into his seat. Nagakura had crossed his arms and his brows were knit.
しかし本当に女だって言うなら殺しちまうのも忍びねえよな。
Oh wow, that's a double standard. Well, if you really are a girl, then Minecrafting just feels kind of wrong. Double standard.
男だろうが女だろうが性別の違いは生かす理由にならねえよ。
Hachikata's words left no room for argument.
女性に限らずそもそも人を殺すのは忍びないことです。
Ah, the voice of pragmatism is speaking.
今日の治安を守るために組織された私たちが無益な殺生をするわけには参りません。
The voice of pragmatism speaks, chat.
結局女の子だろうが男の子だろうが今日の平安を乱しかねないなら話は別ですよね。
I'm not a threat. He had that grin again. The Shinsengumi didn't enjoy a shining reputation already. If rumors began to spread that their men were thirsty for blood, things weren't likely to go well for them. They wouldn't be able to operate in Kyoto, and with no one to protect the people, the city would eventually fall into chaos. I could see in their eyes that each one of them knew full well the consequences rash actions could have.
それを判断するためにもまずは君の話を聞かせてくれるか
Yes. I could feel all their eyes upon me. The room went quiet. Yes. My name is Kendra Yukimura. I have to use that last name in this game, frick. I told him everything. How I lived in Edo. How I had come to Kyoto to find my father.
そうか君も江戸の出身なのか父上を探して遠路はるばる京に来たのか
Yes. I could see emotion welling up in his eyes.
してそのお父上は何をしに京へ
My father is a doctor. His name is Kodo Yukimura, and he specializes in Western medicine.
なんだと
Huh? The moment my father's name crossed my lips, the atmosphere in the room changed.
これはまさか行動氏のご息女と。
Oh god, they know something. You know my father? I wasn't sure what the sudden silence meant, only that the revelation of my parentage had caused a pronounced change in their behavior. It was Saito who finally broke the silence.
行動氏の行方は現在新選組で調査している。
Uh-oh. You're after my father? Why?
あ、勘違いしないでね。僕たちは行動さんを狙ってるわけじゃないから。
Oh, I see. Tension that hadn't noticed appear began to dissipate.
同じ幕府側の協力者なんだけど、実は彼、ちょっと前から行方知れずでさ。
幕府をよく思わない者たちが行動氏に目をつけた可能性が高い。
My eyes went wide, but Saito kept talking as if I'd done nothing.
生きている降参も高い。乱方医は利用価値がある存在だ。
I wasn't sure what else to do, so I nodded. My heart pounded in my chest, threatening to burst out onto the floor. Father, was he safe?
行動氏が見つかる可能性は君のおかげで格段に上昇しましたよ。
Huh? Sanan continued. Apparently my father had only visited a small number of times. I understood then what he meant. It would be difficult for them to track someone down they barely knew.
ですが、行動氏の娘である君ならば、身なりが変わっていようとカンパできますね。
Yes, I could. I nodded as I spoke and gave him what I hoped was a steady, reassuring smile.
あの乱歩医の娘となりゃ殺しちまうわけにもいかねえよな。
Which means more work for me, his eyes added. They narrowed as he looked down at me.
昨べの件は忘れるって言うんなら、父親が見つかるまでお前を保護してやる。
君の父上を見つけるためならば、我ら新選組は協力は惜しまんとも。
Thank you so much. I never imagined something like this. Not only had I survived, I found my first decent lead. Score!
殺されずに済んでよかったね。とりあえずはだけど。
He just gave me that somewhat wolfish grin. Oh wow, you suck, Okata. There was no denying that my situation was still less than desirable, but at that moment I didn't really care. Yes, I'm very glad. I'd been through a lot, but at last I found help. And where I'd never have expected it, the Shenzengumi. Kyoto hadn't been kind to me, even though I'd been here less than a day, but it looked as though my fortunes were taking a turn for the better. I still had a long way to go, and I had worries aplenty, but it was important to stay optimistic.
本来であれば、ここのような男女隊より諸次第や会津藩に預けてやりたいんだが。
Kuda let the silent sentence hang in the air and looked at me, his arms folded. It was clear I had no choice but to stay with the Shenzengumi. So I'm gonna be staying in a building full of men. The only woman in this whole building full of sweaty men. Okay.
不便があれば言うといい。その都度可能な範囲で対処してやる。
Oh. His expression didn't change, but his words were unexpectedly warm. I looked away from him awkwardly, but I still felt the heat rise in my cheeks. Thank you.
まあ、女の子となりゃ手厚くもてなさんといかんよな。
Oh, so now you're gonna be nicer to me just because I'm a girl. Favoritism. That's favoritism.
女の子に弱いもんな。でもだからって手のひら返すの早すぎ。
That's nepotism.
いいじゃねえか。
Ah, whatever.
これで豚書が華やかになると思えば、新八に限らずはしゃぎたくもなるだろう。
Wait a minute. You want a girl here? I wasn't entirely sure that would be the outcome. Nep what?
大使として
Nepotism.
扱うのもまた問題ですし、
Also, hello,
彼女の処
random.
遇は少し考えなければなりませんね。
Hello, random.
なら誰かの故障に
Your
すりゃいい
gender
だろ
just saved your life.
近
Don't
藤さん
start
とか
complaining
三
about
男さんとか
double standards now. Listen, listen. You gotta have that. There's standards. There's standards to that. It's called favoritism. You cannot expect that. You cannot expect it. You can't expect that. Men and women are equal in some measure. Okay? He gave a small shrug. Whatever was done with me, it seemed he no longer cared.
やだな土方さん。そういう時は言い出しっぺが責任取らなくちゃ。
Yeah, I'm not a dog. Yeah, Hajikata-san, I'm not a doggy. Woof woof. I'm not a doggy. You can't just pawn me off on someone else. Chat, look at me. Look, I'm not a dog, am I? Look at me. I'm a sweet little fairy. Would you want him to get rid of me? Come on. I'm just a sweet little fairy. Don't pawn me off on anyone else. Please. I'll be good. I'll be good. I promise. Feed me, take care of me, and love me, and give me a lot of head pats. Please. And I'll love you forever and ever. Please. Pretty please. Hi, Italian love cake. Italian love cake. Kappa. I think you missed Tootsie. Italian love cake. I think you actually missed Tootsie. Tootsie was in chat.
おお、都市のそばなら安心だ。
Yeah. Kendra is a pure... I am a pure little say-so fairy. I'm not say-so. Kondo's face split into a wide smile and he slapped his leg in agreement.
そういうことで土方くん、
I get
彼
pawned
女の
up
こ
on
とよろしく
Hijikata.
お願いしますね。
Hijikata-san, take care of me. Sanon's smile had more than a little of a mocking twist to it. Feed me, take care of me, and love me, Hajikata-san. Give me tons of huggies. Well, I wanted to say hello, everyone. I'm at lunch at work. Aw, have a good day, random! Have a good day at work! Don't overdo it! Ganbare! Gamba! As I watched their back and forth, some of my earlier relief began to ebb away. What was going to happen to me? February 1864. I slid the door open and a breath of cool morning air met me. Clumps of thick clouds trundled silently over the city, an unusually strong wind driving them along. It's cold today. I shivered a bit and grabbed a jacket from near the door to wrap around myself. A week had passed since I began living in the headquarters of the Shenzengumi. They allowed me to roam around the compound as I pleased, and I was given a room of my own. They weren't the best accommodations, but I'd given that they very nearly Minecrafted me instead. I thought it best not to complain. Still, looked down at my feet on the cold floor and sighed. Do I really need to dress like this all the time? They'd given me a place to live for the time being. Gave Kendra a doghouse. I was not in a doghouse! Why do you say it like that, Abaddon? But it hadn't been without conditions. The
お
Shinsen...
前の身柄は新選組預かりとする。が、
Don't you dare.
女として屯所へ置くわけにはいかない。
As he explained, if rumors were to spread about the Shenzengumi were keeping a woman in their compound, tongues would start to wag. It might even bring the people who were after my father to the Shenzengumi in search of me. Of course, they hadn't been able to determine whether or not he'd even been attacked. There were a great many questions left unanswered. We could ill afford any reckless decisions. Or so Hajikata had told me.
だから、お前には断層を続けてもらう。面倒だろうが辛抱してくれ。
Yes. His reasonings were sound. But perhaps more than that, I knew he was looking out not only for the Shenzengumi, but for also the safety of my father and myself. I didn't have a choice, of course, but knowing that made following his orders at least somewhat more palpable.
たとえ君にその気がなくとも、
I still think they're
女性
treating
の
Kendra
存
a
在
little
は
like a
体
dog.
内の風紀を乱しかねませんし
They're
ね。
not used to interacting with women. I think they are used to interacting with women. It's just that they're not used to interacting with women who are disguised like a man. And more than likely they're used to women that work at, as geishas. If y'all don't know what a geisha is, they are women of the night. And back in feudal era Japan, they used them as spies. Yes. Basically, they used geishas to gather intelligence from men. And they send them to either the shogunate or whatever Japanese party that they affiliated themselves with. Because apparently men like pillow talk too much. I'm sorry, I have to do that. I have to give you facts about like Japanese Edo era Japan. The art history person in me is enjoying this too much. His tone suggested he was joking, but it was clear that he was telling the truth as well.
ですから私たち幹部のほか大使たちへも君の事情は話しません。
For that reason, only we. Oh wait, he already read that. If word were to get out, there was no telling how fast rumors could spread, or where to. I had to stay a boy. Alright then. What should I do while I'm here?
屯所では何もしなくていい。部屋を一つやるから引きこもってろ。
Wait, I'm only to stay in my room? But Mom, I don't want to stay in my room. Dad, let me go out and play.
あれおかしいな。この子、誰かさんの故障になるんじゃなかったですか？
Hachikata turned toward Okita, and his eyes narrowed.
いいか、掃除。てめえは余計な口出しせずに黙ってろ。
Whoa, dude, just calm the frick down, man. Before long, I'd been there for a week. I guess I don't have much of a choice. I'd prefer otherwise, of course, but I'll do what I have to. I wasn't quite sure what to make of it yet, but since I've been dressing like a boy, I'd grown rather used to the feel of wearing pants and having the kodachi my father had given me always on my hip. He presented me with it when I was only a child and impressed upon me at least some sense of its importance. Doggy, stay! Listen here! I am not a dog! I am not a dog! I may be wearing a choker, but I swear to God, I am not a dog. I am not a dog. I am not a dog. I'm beating the doggy accusations right here and now. I'm beating them like... I'm beating them. I am not a dog. I am not a doggy. And I want to take this. I won't take it lying down. He presented me with it. I understand that, but these guys might not. I don't care what these guys think. He presented me with it when I was only a child and impressed upon me at least some sense of its importance. Doggy. Yeah, someone in my chat saying that Kendra is... I am a fairy! I'm not a doggy! Look at my pointy ears! Supposedly it had been in the Yukimura family for generations. As such, I was forced to take lessons in swordplay, so I knew which end was meant for the enemy, but... I have never much cared for weapons. They hurt people, of course, but it was more than that. At least for me. For as far back as I could remember, any wounds I suffered healed at an incredible rate. Small cuts would disappear overnight. As a child, I thought it was nothing of it, but as I grew older, I began to realize that I was not quite normal. When I asked my father, he told me that it was a gift from the gods, but that I should tell no one of it. I didn't tell anyone, of course, but I was afraid they would treat me like a monster if they did. Ever since then, I had done my best not to get hurt, and I stayed as far away from blades as I could, and before I realized it, I was rather afraid of them. Dressing as a man all the time was frustrating, as I was carrying a sword, but it was my condition that worried me the most. Still, that wasn't the only thing on my mind. The rank and file soldiers have been treating me coldly. I'm not just imagining it, right? I'd heard of having private room was a rare privilege, even for the captains. For a child to appear out of nowhere and be given better treatment than their own captains, it was a little wonder the soldiers resented me. See, I'm not being treated like a doggy, I'm being more treated like a princess. So, meh, to the people in chat who say otherwise. See, I'm being treated more like a princess or royalty rather than like a little doggy. Haha. True, I suppose. I can't really blame them. Also, quite simply, I felt bad. I was enjoying the hospitality, such as it was, of the Shenzengumi, and so I felt I should help them in some way. But I knew nothing of soldiers and their ways. There wasn't much opportunity for me to learn. Either Hajikata had instructed me to leave my room as little as possible. From time to time, the captains or other officers would send me on an errand or another, but it was nothing approaching a page. Most of the duties they had given me were things more suited for a maid or than a soldier. It made the rest of the men even more resentful for what appeared to be special treatment. They're just watching me to make sure I keep my mouth shut. They took turns keeping watch over me. My mistakes could mean serious trouble for them, so they were doing their best to keep me away from the other soldiers. Then again, perhaps I was just a poor actor. Their soldiers almost never spoke to me, but when they did, it was difficult for me to act manly. All too often, the captains had to step in to cover for me. Each time they did, it made it look as though I couldn't even manage to speak for myself, and I felt even worse. Come on, me! Focus! Act like a man! Belch! All you have to do is just belch and drink beer. I'm joking. You don't have to do any of that. Men are more complicated than what we give them credit for. They're people too. They all have their own unique things. Yeah, you know. Come on, Yukimura-san. Haven't you seen Yes, Italian love cake. Haven't you seen Mulan? Mr. I'll make a man out of you. Yes. I love that song so much. I love that song. I'm literally wearing a shirt of Mulan about it. I'm literally wearing a shirt of Mulan about to cut her hair with this. Yeah! Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. My favorite scene is the music where Shen's singing. Where Shen is singing. If I'm really going to stay here, I'd like to be friends with at least some of them. But I can't exactly tell them the truth, can I? I am sorry that I'm singing I'll Make a Man Out of You from Donny Osmond in Mulan. Indeed, I couldn't. And so I had no choice but to stay out of the way and keep it to myself. It wasn't a pleasant existence, and I was beginning to feel depressed. Oh, I'm sorry, my nose is a little stuffy. If I'm supposed to stay out of the way, then I shouldn't be leaving my room, but I very much wanted to go look for my father. However, even after a week had passed, I was still not allowed to leave headquarters. I'd come to Kyoto in search of my father, but for the time being, it seemed that search had been stopped in its tracks. Perhaps I thought I could talk to Hajikata if he would give me permission to look for my father. Oh, no, that's right. Hajikata left on a trip to Osaka several days before. Perhaps I can sneak out while he's not here. Don't sneak out! Let me save. Save. Save is good. Save. Always save. Also, create a quick save. Yes. I'm going to stay put. No. Talk to someone. Perhaps there would be someone in the inner courtyard to talk to, I thought. I didn't want to be spotted by the soldiers, so I hid for a moment and scanned the area. Oh, good. Things were looking up. The only people in the courtyard were Okata and Saito. Good morning, Okata. Good morning, Saito. They showed no sign of surprise at my approach and turned lazily to greet me.
Ohayo. 明るいような暗いような微妙な顔してるね。
What? How did you guess?
むしろその反応に出ていると思うが、俺たちに用があるなら言うといい。
He was clever, I had to admit. Well, I didn't want to impose or complain, but they had asked. I was hoping I can go look for my father soon.
それは無理だ。お前の護衛に咲く人員は整っていない。
Oh. He hadn't left any room for argument. No, I couldn't just give up. Isn't there anything you can do? It's not like I want to go very far. I just walk around the city near your headquarters would be enough.
僕たちが巡察に出かけるとき、同行してもらうのが一番手っ取り早いかな。
Oh. I had to admit, I hadn't expected Oki to lift a finger for me.
でも、巡察って命がけなんだよ。僕たちが下手を打てば死ぬ大使だって出る。老子に殺されたくないなら最低限自分の身くらい自分で守ってもらわないとね。
He gave me a smile, but it wasn't entirely pleasant. Well, I know a little self-defense. Little being the operative word, but I couldn't bring myself to simply stand there and say nothing. In all honesty, though, the last thing I wanted was to see another person die. I had seen enough of that to last a lifetime. Still, I told myself I couldn't let fear rule my decisions, no matter the danger. I had to look for my father. Kyoto was a dangerous place, and if I let fear hold me back, I knew I'd never find him. I felt Saito's eyes on me before he spoke.
ならば俺が試してやろう。星のものが飾りではないと証明してみせろ。
They don't trust her off leash. Oh my... What? What? I can be trusted. I am trustworthy. I'm trustworthy. Stop it. Stop it. What? I look up at him, then back down at my kodachi. Yes, I've learned how to use my sword, but I
加減はしてやる。遠慮は無
I
用
will...
だ。どこからでも全力で打ち込んでこい。
But... Saito simply stared at me with flat, cold eyes. He looked almost bored.
どうした雪村。その子たちはやはり単なる飾りなのか。
No, of course it's not. I have taken lessons. I'm not lying. But I can't attack you. If you get stabbed or cut, you'll die. Laughter shook his body. It's not funny.
斉藤君相手に殺しちゃうかもなんて不安になれる君は文句なしにすごいよ。最高。
Of course, I hadn't thought I could beat one of the captains of the Shinsengumi, but still. His words certainly hadn't made me feel any better about the situation. Swords are made for killing people. What if I hurt him? My words were more for myself than them, I suppose. I wouldn't think twice about attacking to defend myself or to protect someone else, but this was nothing like that. I can't just draw my sword on someone for no reason if there's even a small chance I could hurt them. Okuta grinned at me. It was a strange smile, somehow warm and cold at the same time. I wasn't sure how to feel about it.
君の気持ちは分かったけど、自分の腕前を示しておけばいいことあるかもよ。
Huh?
君がそれなりに刀の使える人間だって分かれば、僕たちも君の外出を少しは前向きに考えるし。
Then, you wanted to test me to help me?
どうしても刃を使いたくないというのなら、鞘をか。
I looked down at my sword. Even with the scabbard or the back of the blade, a strike in the right or wrong place could easily break a bone. But if they were doing this for me, well, I could hardly turn them down. I straightened up, looked straight into Saito's cold, calm eyes. Let's go! I settled into a fighting position. Saito cocked his head slightly to one side and let out a small noise I took to be a laugh. His smile is actually very charming. He didn't appear to be moving into a fighting stance of his own, despite the fact that I was clearly ready to attack. Did he intend to leave his sword sheathed? I stopped the thought as soon as it showed itself. His words were to be trusted. Here I come! As I stepped forward, I let out a yell and lunged. The backside of my blade collided with a defenseless Saito. Or so I thought. Huh? In the space of a blink, his face was only inches from mine, and I could feel the cold steel of his blade. This, then, was the skill of the captain of the Shinsengumi. My body froze, and I could feel the beginnings of a cold sweat.
死を誇れ。お前の剣には曇りがない。立ち筋には心が現れる。お前は死に恵まれたのだろう。
He turned without another word, sheathed his sword, and began to walk away. Only then did I notice just how wildly my heart was beating. What was that?
これいい子たちだね。ずいぶん年代物みたいだけど。
So this is that story. Yakuza Inshin's story is inspired by the Shinsengumi too. Ah, yeah. Huh? I look over at Okita to see him holding my kodachi. I looked down at my hand, where I expected the sword to be. It was empty. I'm sorry, thank you for picking up my sword. He nodded and tossed the sword to me. I reached for it, but there was almost no strength left in my hands, and I nearly dropped it. The blow of Saito's sword on my own had left my hands and even my arms numb. That strength seemed almost inhuman.
大丈夫？やっぱり驚いたかな。斉藤君の居合は達人級だからね。
His smile had grown even wider, although I had no idea what he found so amusing. Yes, I suppose I'm okay. But what's Aya? I felt a bit of a fool asking, but they seemed to think it was a perfect, legitimate question.
対等状態から抜き打ちの一撃を放つ技だ。抜刀直後の刃が上向いているのはわかるな。
Yes. You wear your katana just like my kodachi then. He nodded. There have been times when all swords were worn with the blade down, but nowadays most swords wore them up.
本来であれば刀身が鞘から抜け切るまで待ち、刀を返して相手に刃を向ける手間がかかる。
And he could have easily taken my head with that blade. Had I faced him in actual battle, there was no doubt that I would have been dead before I even touched him.
居合は片手で抜き打つことが多いから、結果的に威力が下がって実用性は低いなんて言われることもあるんだけどね。
But that's not a problem Saito has. You could easily finish an opponent with a single blow. My voice was quiet with fear and awe. Okita laughed easily and gave me a nod.
君の小立ちを弾いた後、即座に追撃してとどめを刺してたと思うよ。
The only reason I survived that encounter was because Saito had never intended to kill me. The thought made me shiver. That's I then. And from a true master of the art, I didn't have the words to describe what it was like. Something that felt a good deal like fear collided itself around my heart. However, I'd seen them act. The men of the Shinsengumi were deadly. To live in their headquarters was to share your home with men that could take a life as easily as breathing.
落ち込むことはないと思うが、 お前は外を連れ歩くに不便を感じない腕だ。
Really? I looked from Saito to Okata. He gave me a smile and brought his hands together in a polite applause.
斉藤君のお墨付きか。これってかなりすごいことだよ。
Then that means you could take me with you?
外出禁止令を出した人が許可するならいつでも連れて行ってあげるんだけどね。
Right. I had a feeling he was going to say something along those lines, so I simply nodded in agreement.
土方さんが大阪出張から戻るまで今しばし待たせることになるな。
Oh. You don't need to apologize, Saito. It's alright. Saito looked at me for a beat, then turned away. I thought perhaps he felt a little bad.
巡察に同行できるよう俺たちから土方副長に進言しておこ
だからもう少しだけおとなしくしててね。遊び相手くらいにならなってあげるからさ。
They're not bad guys. They're really nice. They're actually really nice guys once you get to know these guys. They're pretty sweet. Like puppy. Really? What kind of company would they be, I wondered. I turn up and look at the sky. At least I had some progress in my search, I told myself, however little. The wind had pushed the clouds off of Kyoto, and the brilliant blue they'd hidden shone down on me. Oh, stretch! I just felt my arm pop. I watched shadows drift up my wall as the orange light of the sun painted my room the color of autumn leaves. How long am I going to do this? Solitude was proving detrimental to any sort of continued optimism. All my thoughts eventually turned dark and hopeless. It was depressing, but most of all, it was frustrating. How could I let myself be discouraged so easily? Fairly easily, actually. I've been swept up in a frightening world I didn't understand and couldn't possibly control. I can't possibly figure out what's happening to Father if I'm stuck here. Only Hachikata can give me permission to leave, and he's gone. They can Minecraft a man as easily as breathing, but get all squeamish about doing that to a woman. You'll be okay. I mean, they're sweethearts. They're sweethearts. Let's be honest. All I could do is wait. Lamenting things I couldn't change wouldn't improve my situation, and I would arguably make it worse. Still, there was at least one thing I had to be thankful for. At least they've all been nice to me. I knew I couldn't trust the men of the Shinsengumi completely. They were, after all, men who would take a life in the blink of an eye. It would be all too easy for the next life they took to be mine. They're nice men deep down. Right?
君さ、騙されやすい性格とか言われない？
My voice froze in my throat. I slowly turned to find Okita standing right behind me. What are you doing here?
あれ？もしかして気づいてなかったとか？この時間。
Of course, I was under surveillance, which meant... Did you hear everything I said?
Hmm?
He said nothing, only smiled and blinked laconically. He heard me. Oh, he had definitely heard me. I wanted to scream, but before I could open my mouth, Saito stepped out from behind the door.
掃除、無駄話はそれくらいにしておけ。
Were you here the whole time too?
つい先ほど来たばかりだが。
Oh, thank goodness. I pressed my hand to my chest in an effort to calm my pounding heart. I'm sorry for screaming like that.
気にするな。 そもそも今の独り言は聞かれて困るような内容でもないだろう。
So he was there! Then he had heard me! True, I didn't say anything bad, but still, it's embarrassing to be caught talking to oneself. I was so embarrassed. Saito looked from me to Okita and back, and his brows drew together almost imperceptibly.
夕飯の支度ができたんだが邪魔をしただろうか。
Dinner! No, nothing at all. I shook my head emphatically.
あんたと掃除の話に一区切りついたら声をかけるつもりだったんだが。
He had let the words hang in the air, but his eyes said that he determined we'd continue forever if he didn't interrupt. I had opened my mouth to say I'm not sure what when... You're welcome, Neffy! I probably better stop here, because I do have to make the thumbnail for the next stream. And I also do have to probably get ready for dinner soon. Because Faye Papa is gonna probably want to go out to dinner. So, I'm gonna leave it off there for today. Hold on. I hope you guys had fun. Title screen. But yeah, I've actually played this game. I've actually played the game before. If I go here into the encyclopedia, I can always, like, show you. And I can actually go in there. No problem. Let me just turn this off and I will... And I will basically just talk to you for a few quick minutes. So let me just do these. And we'll go to the just chatting screen. Bye. So, that is Hakuouki, Demon of the Fleeting Blossom. I hope you guys liked it. It's one of those games that is really good. It's a visual novel game that was made back in 2008. You can actually watch the anime version. It's by Shintai Filmworks. I highly recommend it for the incredible, like, yeah, it was made in 2008. The characters and everything are actually inspired by real life events and everything. So I highly recommend it. And like I said, give it a good watch. It's really good. But anyway, I'm gonna try to look at what you all voted for in my community tab for later tonight. And I'll try to make the thumbnail for it. As I said, next Wednesday at 9 p.m. my time, I'm gonna be doing a collab stream with Cup, where we are gonna be ranking our Fire Emblem husbandos and waifus based on skill, aesthetics, looks, and our personal opinions on them overall. So get ready for next Wednesday at 9 p.m. for me and Cup to collab, doing a Fire Emblem tier list. It'll be over on Cup's channel, so look forward to it, guys! Yay! So, let me look for someone to raid. Oh yeah, it'll definitely be fun. It'll defs be fun. I enjoy Cup's content. Her content's like really so good. Let me see who's live. Oh, is Emery live? Let me see. Yeah, Emery's live. Ooh. So guys, Emery is doing a karaoke stream. So we're gonna raid Emery So guys, if yeah, she's live. She's doing a karaoke stream. Yeah. Hashtag moth raid. I want to spell her name right. Hold on. I gotta spell Emery's name right. Thank you for showing up to the stream. It means a lot. So guys, remember to follow my friend Emery's rules. Read her rules. Respect her as you would me. And I will see you later for whatever stream I'm gonna be doing. I love you guys so much. I'll see you later, guys.